All right, so the first thing I should ask is, how many of you have either seen or heard all of the Barber of Seville? Heard
much of it.
Good. So what do we call that kind of opera? That style of opera? El canto, and that meaning, beautifully sung. So you'll see like Rossini, Donizetti. They're very specific stylistic way of playing, and these would have been. Why would someone like Puccioli write this? Would anyone know why?
Isn't it for people to be played at like a home? That's what I heard. Like they commission composers to.
Very good point. Yeah, chamber music was played for when the middle class started to be more of when there was more money except for the very rich and royalty. People started making music in their own home. They didn't have TV, they didn't have computers, they didn't have anything. So they entertained themselves. And also, why would he have chosen opera melodies? Exactly. They were the hot tunes of the day. So they arranged the things that people wanted to play for themselves. And the woodwind quintet started to become more popular in the 1800s, modeling itself after string quartet, where people started to work more on developing a repertoire for woodwind quintets. So we'll see that's why we really don't have a lot of repertoire from the 1700s. We won't have any Haydn or any Mozart as a transcription. So he would have done this as popular tunes that everyone would have known, playing the Barber of Seville. So go ahead, take it away. Yeah, if you mean to tune or anything, go ahead. Yeah. you're going to take your time with the trill and really milk it for all it's worth. Can it be even bigger in the oboe and the flute at the beginning? And then when the clarinet and bassoon answer, even more assertive. So we're really aware that the voicing has changed. Okay? One more time. Good. Now in that, there we have to be thinking when we have retards and things like that, who you want to lead. In that case, I would have leaned towards the clarinet since she's taking over that solo. So you might want to give a little bit of body language. That way she'll know where you want to go with the timing of it. Make sense? All right, great. One more time. Now he has a marking here, and I don't know if that's the editor or whether it's Riccioldi, but I would almost think it would be nice for you to play the. You're going to diminuendo like a singer would in operatic style. And then when you guys come back in again, it's once again a big, almost like an interruption, going back to your theme. Like, no, we want to do this. Okay? One more time from the beginning. Keep your volume up. Answer. And you can take a little time to play for me the you got to listen to your listen to those clips of like Kathleen Battle. You can find things on YouTube of her singing Barbara of Seville even, and you'll hear the way those divas take their time. They really milk it. Okay? Sorry to keep being so picky, but these ideas will play out throughout the movement. One more time, keep your energy up in there. So make sure you really show him so he can see, because it's hard in the woodwind quintet because we can't see each other. You know, string quartets tend to fan out a bit, so sometimes the sidelines are difficult. So just a little bit of indication you'll be able to see there. Let's do your second entrance there after the first fermata. And here, you're going down in the lower version. You're going to really diminuendo it and show them all your control. And that's what bel canto is about in that style. They're really showing great vocal control. And that was the point. The pieces were written to demonstrate that. And you know, Rossini, he wrote all these operas, and then I think he stopped performing. Do you know what he did? He was a chef. And do you know what he was known for? Were his sauces. So, and if you think about it, his pieces are so much like that. You know, it's about the zest and the effect it has. Let's do that second entrance one more time. You know what? I might think it might be better for him to lead it since he's carrying over with the fermata. Let's try that second entrance one more time. And really be comfortable if you can. I know it's tricky in the oboe depending on which note. See if you can really take it out to nothing. Again. Good. Let's go on. Yep. And so she's not in a great register. So we'll have to work on that. So I would say the two people I would like to hear the most would be you when you have your eighth notes, then you'll move out of the way, and then she moves in, and then we'll hear the so it's like a three-part thing. Can we leave out oboe and horn and just have the flute, clarinet, and bassoon in this opening? be almost a little interrupted. You're in conversation with each other. So can you have a little more clear dialogue? So, make sense? You know what to do? All right, let's start to think about as performers. Oftentimes we focus on how we feel. Oh, it's a good day, it's a bad day. The audience doesn't know that, and we should never want them to know. And all you're thinking about is, am I making my point well? Am I being very clear for them? You're helping to take this and bring it into reality so they can hear it, but you're helping them to realize, I need to hear bassoon, then flute, and then clarinet. And then you're guiding them through the piece. Let's start one more time. Okay, so what's happening in this series, in this phrase grouping here? Are we moving forward or backwards dynamically?
Forwards.
Forwards. So we're going to build in a crescendo. So can we start softer? That's very typical of Rossini. He would start these long sequences where there'd be a lot of crescendoing through it if you listen to the operas. So that's part of the excitement. So let's start softer, which will be challenging, more challenging for the bassoon and the clarinet in balancing it out. But when you get to be forte, you're going to have to play bigger. Okay. With the scale, it's more like laughter. You know, it should be fairly big moment in this first introduction. The next will be the next forte after that. So let's build again, this starting at A, build the sequence, and the second time is the biggest. Yes, let's do that again. Let's scale together. Can we start right there in the 16ths? It's a little confusing. They've got the 16ths and then you're in. Sorry about that. How about I'll give you measure for nothing and they'll come in on the second beat. 1, 2, 1. I think you can be even bigger on that, don't you? Let's go for it. One more time. 1, 2, 1. Good, and you shouldn't be shy that you're in contrary motion. That would have been funny in that day. We're probably used to it. But we have to remember that stylistically, we don't think, oh, this isn't, edgy at all. It wasn't written to be edgy, but we have to think about the state the composer would have been in. That would have been rather charming. So bring it out. One more time there. 1, 2, 1. And I think that when you got that accent, that would bring out more. So let's add in our oboe and horn now, and we'll start back at A. Now last. Okay, so that your cadence right here felt a little not so exciting. Can you give me more energy to the end there? So when you start that sequence there, and you'll take a little bit of time, right? Take a little bit of time like a string quartet will do, and then I'll say to the audience, this matters. This is what you've been waiting to get to throughout your entire introduction. So it's just like when you have to give a speech, when you're in school, you have to talk, you have to organize your thoughts and make sure it's clear to everybody. Can we Oh, do you mind if we start at A again? Are you getting bored? It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Start again. Now, take a little bit of time here. You're saying something new happens, and start at B. Okay, does anyone here know Petrushka? The ballet Petrushka, Stravinsky? Yes? Does anyone recognize? You played the bassoon part for us?
Oh, I
By
don't
yourself? No, just that. What you're playing right now in here with the score. So there's a part like this in Petrushka where it's played on the bassoon note. It's supposed to be like a organ grinder. Yup. It's like a broken organ grinder. Well, you'd say, well, why would he write that? Well, in the streets, you would have heard people making music on an organ grinder, on very, what we would maybe say, not so fancy instruments. So he's just imitating the style that you would have heard of music when you were walking around in the street, when people were playing for money on the street. So it's a little funny. And yours is just the, it adds a little more clarity to it, but then just let it rustle underneath. Let's start with the bassoon right there at B, and then the flute. Okay, you'll want to work on there. Part of there is you're getting an E there between the F and the D. So you'll just want to make sure that these two fingers are working together.
Okay.
All right? Why don't you just try that passage on your own a little bit. Yeah, it's the contrary motion, which you'll want to work on there. Part of that is also since you decided not to use your E flat key. So you'll want to work on that. And what you may want to do is just play an F and a D on its own. Repeated. Yeah. And then now play a D to a B flat. Yeah, and so you're going to need your air to be a little bit higher so you're not having to lift the air for the high B, or not the high B flat, for the B flat. Okay, 2 D. So when she comes in, what you'll do is then withdraw a bit so that she doesn't have to play too loud. Let's start again. So at the beginning, you can start a little fuller and then diminuendo to say, here's our soloist. And release. Okay, how do you feel about the tempo for playing that tune?
It's a little slow, but I think that's how it's written.
Yeah, I think it is a little slow. I think it's hard to carry the line you're looking for, right? So I know it's maybe a little awkward for you. Just do your best mumbling in the background. So it's a rocking rhythm of 2. Let's start right there at B. Your aria for us. Right there in that measure of your entrance.
In the second batch?
Yes. that want to be strong and certain notes that want to be weak. But we want to make the notes behave and fall into the line that we want them to be on. So tell me in this phrase where you're thinking of going.
I think it goes to my written after the turn.
Yes. Let's start right there. Where's your first short-term goal? Where's the first note you're pointing everything towards? Ah, I noticed that. I actually think it's the appoggiatura before it. Let's try that one time. That's it. Ah, so the thing is it the high note or is it? Let's go to that next downbeat. Put those high notes in direction towards the next downbeat. So sotto voce. Take out the accent. Yeah, you feel the difference? Like you're playing the clarinet quintet, Mozart.
Yeah.
Sing through the interval. One more time. I like that one. Here, your octave, not your octave, your sixth. So let's tame this interval a bit more. That's it. To the downbeat and resolve. Good. Let's keep going. Keep going to the downbeat. And resolve. And here's your big moment. Yeah, so I'm crescendo to there, so when you play that scale, there's a reason for you to linger up at top. Can you go from there?
From this bar?
Yes, from that bar with the turn. And now ascend. Keep it going. And now take time. There you go. Now let's play this tutti and then follow her line up and down. Give her the shape and the room to do all of that. So they'll start. Was it the measure before? Of color, right? You know, you're going to show off a bit, which would have been very common in all the flute music of that era, particularly Burchialdi. Do you know who he was?
He played flute.
He was a flutist. Yeah, he was a bit of a virtuoso, and a lot of his pieces, like Carnival of Venice, that's his. You know, it's what we call salon music. It's fluff, but it's to show off. So you have your little moment there. Show them what you got. Okay, one more time. This is coming along great, and thank you for your nice, steady accompaniment. Okay, one more time. It doesn't have to be so short. It doesn't have to be accent. That's it. There you go. Sing for them. Keep it going. Good for you. Let's keep going. Going good. Good, let's do that cadenza. Very good. Take your time at the top. All the time in the world that you want. So when the singer, when she goes for her high note, she's in good voice, she'll sit up there all day and night. But if she's not feeling good voice, she'll take her time to get up into that. Will you play that for us, your cadenza? Dramatic. Now try it again. It can be even bigger. It could be not a warm sound, but maybe a little bit stronger. That's it. And take a little more time at the top. Show off for them. To descend, you'll take a bit away of your attention. In essence, your energy has dissipated, which is why you then return down to the low notes. And that you're going to really milk it. You've got to get every bit of energy and emotion out of it. One more time. Actually, let's do the thing from C. Let's go right at C. And good blending with the bassoon and the horn. Nice. Just because it's in that character. So play a little more soloistically there, and start again at C. Good. The oboe is going to be our little propulsion. He's going to help drive the group. Okay? Let's go. And. Together.
Okay.
All right, so this will be in that measure where you have the A's.
Yep.
So, dia, 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 dia. Don't be shy. Let's hear. Go ahead and you'll cue her in since you got a nice steady tempo. 1, 2, 3. Let's have you first reduce it. You'll just play F, 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 D. Good. Now you're going to play taka, 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 just two repeated Fs. Okay? So now you're just going to throw in a C in there. Dia, 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 dia. And don't worry about the articulation too much, and throw off the second and third 30 seconds. Okay? It's the first F that's what matters. There you go. Good. Good for you. Let's do it at C. Too good about playing all those G's. It's about, if you need even to leave one out, it's okay. So you get yourself set for the downbeat.
Okay.
Let's start right on that. We're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th bar of C. Kind of in the middle of your tune, I'm sorry. Okay. And how are we doing time-wise? How much time do we have total?
I don't know.
You have till 11.
11? Okay, so we're going to wrap on a bit because we have to have some time. And be thinking about what piece you guys want to work on. Okay, great.
It's plus 11:30.
11:30. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So we've got maybe like another, if we do another, 15 minutes or so, then.
Is it 11 or 11:30?
I thought it was 11.
Let me look in the main schedule here. They gave us something. Let me just double check.
I thought there were supposed to be 3 groups, and each one with a half an hour. 9:30 to 11. But I could be wrong. I just go wait and tell me.
Yeah, it says till 11:30
Oh, Ben.
/ noon. I think you'll have had enough of me by 11:30. And actually, it might be neat for you guys to listen to some of the senior rounds that are going on. So are we all set if we go to 11:30? And that way you can sneak into the hall
I'll
and
check
listen.
the schedule, but I think those might end by 11:30 too.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. Did you all get to listen to any of the senior rounds?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Because it's kind of neat to hear what everyone's doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The last group plays at 10:35.
Sorry. I never got to hear any of you, sorry to say. But I got to hear you all, which is good. And did you hear how things are kind of gelling more and the piece is becoming clearer? So often the time we have to spend some time with the score, looking at it, listening to the opera and thinking, how do I go ahead and explain this to them? Because the expression that someone once used is there's no such thing as a bad audience, they're just bad performers. Which isn't meant to be in a negative way. It's our job to make them get it. And that even like if you watch a really, really good performer, even if they have an audience that's maybe a rough crowd, they can still win them over. And so you're looking to connect with them. And that actually will help when you're in a competition situation where we can often be worried about, how I feel. And if we can get out of our own head and think it's not about me, it's about them, and be thinking about the audience and connecting with them, and then you'll be freer. And not connecting with them in terms of, I hope they like me, I'm just here to entertain them. I want them to get my message. And I'm not worried about whether they like it even. I just want to make sure that they feel like, okay, I knew what they were saying, I know what they're about, I know what that group stands for and what they mean. And then you'll connect it with the audience. So all right, let's go right at that same thing. What is that, 7 after C? I love that. So with the tonality changes there, let's make the most of that. And you're going to just soar over them at the top. Same spot. Bass line and then it'll really work. And as rich as you can get down there. And let's take a little bit of time. She sets herself up, right? She's always making sure her delivery. So letting it breathe. One more time. I'm being so picky. I appreciate your indulgence. Exactly. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that she is in good relief. So we should just hear her right over the group. And it's going to be tricky there because he's got the bassoon up high, right? Which is not its richest area. So we're going to mellow the group art to be a little bit darker so that the brilliance of the bassoon pops out. Can we start there, right at D, is that? Does that feel comfortable to do that?
Yeah.
Go for it. Let's just do a little work with the bassoon part there. So those repeated notes, where are you taking them towards? It's just a short-term goal.
To the E flat, the next.
So direct them so they feel like they're up bow. Want to play that on your own? That's it. And that's it. So the end of just resolves everything. You're very graceful, very elegant, and yet happy. One more time for us. Good for you. Now, let her be her character, and you just have a nice carpet underneath her. Answer. What just happened? So the mood changed. We moved into a minor key, right? Yum, bum, bum. That's serious. So that's the character has to totally change there. Let me pick it up where the oboe starts the dialogue, where everyone's answering all that. Bum, 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 bum. Now the question is, do we want to bring out those A's or the D, da, 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 da.
I think we were doing the da-da-da-da.
Can we try it the reverse? Yum, bum, 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 bum. Let's just see what happens to that. So we'll start right, is that third measure of D? Good, now let's reverse it and do what you plan and bring out the da-da-da-da-da. What do you think? Which one do you like more? As a listener, I like the first one because the yum bum bum bim 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 bum, I could hear more of the canon and help kind of orchestrate. It's also yum bum bum ba da 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 dum, ya da 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 dum is the tail or the tag of the phrase of the motive that he's excerpting, right? So let's just try that for now. There is no right or wrong on that. That's a question of what you all decide as a group. Just for today, we'll try that though. Let's start right there, the second measure of D. More clearly. One more time, right there. And here's 1. Change the Can it be louder? Let's hear the bassoon and clarinet. Yum bum bum bim. Take a bit of time. Yes. So you'll try that in context, and then you'll right there in that spot we started before with the oboe. And 1. Because yum bum bum bim is the organizing bit of material that's about to take us to our new key area, which is why I think it's more important than ya da 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 da. Okay? One more time. Are you getting horribly bored? The poor horn.
Okay.
You have to. It's the curse of the horn player. Where is your variant coming up? Where's the
After E, I get my little thing.
All right, we'll get to that, I promise. We'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you for your patience. I'm sure why you're probably thinking, why didn't I get the brass quintet? Okay, one more time.
Sit down.
Yeah, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Take your time. All right, his big moment. Go ahead and take over. Show off a bit there. All right, they'll give you those scales. What is that? 3 before E? E. Okay, good. 3 before E. And 1. Here's the down. 1, 2, 3. 2. And. So if you listen, let it be a swing and a big 2. You just start your pickup or by flute alone on that E, the high E before letter E. So you're going to show us that you're going to melody the do, si, la, si, sol. I understand what they're looking for in the editor, but it's really the accent on is saying is to give a bit of schmaltz, a bit of vibrato. All right, let's start Tutti there at E. She'll give us her fermata or her high note before, and then cue everybody. What do you think? Can we do a little faster? Let's start right at E. Yeah, so take a little more time to that. And could it be that yours answer is a little softer in the oboe? So you're her echo, you're like her little, your vassal following behind. Okay, let's start from your E and then pick up, see, E, yeah. Letter E. And just check your pitch on that, but the la, do, fa, la, right? Just check the pitch on the, can you try that one? The one that's your second, it's a group of 16th. Let's just do that. There we go, now this is C. Good, yeah, just find that good A. Good. Yeah, it's hard to find that right balance in there. All right, same spot. Make sure we have to get to that horn part. There you go. Bigger. Just sustain it. You probably got a ton of water there after sitting here for 45 minutes. Let's just hear your entrance. Good. Let the air start to flow before you worry about the lip. Make sure that there's air behind. you go. Relax and just think about, hear the note in your head and then create it. There you go. Good. Now play me your turn. Dee-da-dee-dee-dum. That's it. So don't worry about the third or the fourth 30-second until the first and the second have happened.
Okay.
So you're thinking too far ahead. One note at a time. Let's just do your entrance there on your own. Good. Take a little more time. Those first 2 30 seconds you can be slower.
Okay.
One more time. Is it the finger coordination with the valves?
It's really out with fingering.
Yeah. Let's play it slowly a couple of times. There you go. A couple of times more, just to get the into your hand. Remember how it feels. Just that second, 30-second. Just those first. Again. Again. Really remember how it feels in your hand and do it. There you go. You got it. Again. Excellent. Now from the high note, but still slow. Don't, even slower. Take your time. There you go. So what I would suggest I'm going to give you is that all technique is what you would call kinesthetic memory. Does anybody understand what I mean by that? Pardon? It's not just muscle memory. It's the feeling of how a memory of how your body is moving through space. Muscle memory means that it's just in the hand. But that means it's up here, that you visualize and can create the experience and sensation within your mind, so that when you're playing and you're excited, your body's going to feel different, right? So you start to relate to, oh, my hand feels different. But you go back up into your mind and you remember how it felt when you were relaxed in your relaxed state, and you press play on that memory, and then your body will execute. So that's, you just remember that feeling, particularly from that first and second 30-second note. And if you need to, sometimes we play a little bit of dirty pool when we're playing in front of people. We're going to lengthen that first or second 30-second note to your advantage. That way, if you're nervous, you will counteract your body's desire to move off the note too soon. And then it ends up sounding right. So you don't have to fight your excitement. You can go with it, but you're going to rethink it. So you'll almost think that that second 30-second note, it will be like you'll think of 16, but because you're excited, it'll come out as a 30-second.
Okay.
All right, so let's start right on the horn entrance, and everyone will come in. So there's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pick up to 8, right? After E. Ensembles, right? Let's just hear your high note, the D, right? Is it D? Good. Next, take a breath, and then your next note. Take a breath and play your B. Good. And you're not going to try and define yours. I know it's hard on the oboe. Don't have so much of a definition of the sound. Just be awash. You're just helping to fill it out. But if your sound competes with this, then we'll hear the difference in pitch. So let's do the same thing with the horn entrance. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is just play everything that we've done up to here as a run through. So that's our new section. Let's play from the beginning. Put this all together. See if you can remember as much as you can of what we've done. So you're going to start big. Okay? Let's go. More. Big. Take a moment. Wait. so I think there, hopefully, some ideas, things for you to think about where the piece has a little more shape to it, and it helps kind of explain it to your audience. Any questions? No? Great. Should we go on to the
Yes.
group?